A cold breeze swept across the city as Daniel Foster, a well-known millionaire businessman, stepped out of his luxury car, gently holding the hand of his 6-year-old daughter, Emily. The world knew him as a fierce negotiator, a man who could sway entire markets with a single decision, but today, he looked nothing like the confident figure on magazine covers. Today, he was simply a father, exhausted, worried, and desperate. Emily, his only child, had been mute since the tragic night she lost her mother in a car accident 2 years ago. Therapists, doctors, psychologists, he had taken her to all of them. But nothing worked. Emily hadn't spoken a word, not even a sound, since that night. She communicated only through silence, blank gazes, and the teddy bear she held every single day. Daniel scheduled this small cafe visit as an attempt to create normal moments, even though every outing reminded him of how much had been stolen from their lives. The cafe was warm and soft-lit, with the gentle hum of conversation floating through the air. Daniel pulled out a chair for Emily, and she sat quietly, clutching her teddy bear close. She observed everything, the falling raindrops outside, the clinking cups, the cheerful chatter, but she remained still, as she always did. Daniel sighed inwardly, wondering if anything could ever bring light back into her eyes. "Hot chocolate for you, sweetheart," he whispered, hoping maybe today she would respond. But she only smiled faintly and nodded. That tiny nod broke him. It reminded him she was still there, still fighting her silent battle. As the waiter left, Daniel noticed a young woman sitting a few tables away. She looked about 24, wearing a soft beige dress, with a gentle warmth in her eyes. She glanced at Emily, smiled politely, then looked away. Daniel didn't think anything of it. He returned to stirring Emily's drink when he suddenly noticed the young woman standing beside their table. "Excuse me," she said softly, I noticed your daughter. May I say hello?" Daniel hesitated, unsure. Emily usually froze when strangers approached. But before he could respond, Emily lifted her eyes toward the woman, calm, curious, not fearful. That itself surprised him. "Yes, sure," Daniel replied. The young woman sat slowly, making sure not to overwhelm the child. Then something unexpected happened. She raised her hands and began signing. Daniel watched in confusion, but Emily's reaction was immediate, like a spark had ignited inside her. Her eyes widened, her posture straightened, and for the first time in nearly 2 years, she responded. She lifted her hands and signed something Daniel had never seen before. Tears shone in her eyes, not sadness, but recognition, connection, hope. Daniel's heart stopped. You know sign language?" he asked the young woman, unable to hide the tremor in his voice. She nodded gently. "I do. I was mute for most of my childhood." Daniel froze. The air around him thickened with disbelief as Emily and the young woman, whose name she later introduced as Lily, continued signing joyfully, as if they had known each other forever. Emily smiled, an open, wide, glowing smile Daniel hadn't seen since his wife was alive. He covered his mouth with his hands, overwhelmed. Lily read the emotion instantly. "She's been wanting to communicate," she said softly. She just needed someone who spoke her language. Daniel felt his throat tighten. But therapists tried. Specialists tried. Why didn't it work with them? Lily looked at Emily with warmth before responding. "Because they treated her silence as an illness. I don't. I treat it as a language. And she feels safe with people who understand rather than diagnose." Her words pierced Daniel's heart. For years, he blamed himself, blamed the accident, blamed fate, but never once did he realize Emily's silence wasn't a prison. It was simply a different way of speaking. Lily gently placed a hand on Emily's teddy bear, signaling something, and Emily nodded eagerly, signing back with excitement he had never witnessed before. Lily explained, "She wants to show you something." Emily placed the teddy bear down, took a deep breath, and made a sign Daniel had never seen before. What did she say?" he asked. Lily smiled tenderly. She said, "I like it when you smile, Daddy." Daniel's entire body shook. Tears streamed uncontrollably down his face as he grabbed Emily gently, holding her close but carefully enough not to scare her. She didn't pull away. She hugged him back, tight, warm, full of love. Lily looked away respectfully, giving them their moment. After a long, emotional silence, Daniel composed himself. "Thank you," he whispered to Lily. "I don't know how to repay you." She shook her head. "You don't need to. I know what it feels like to live in a world where no one understands your silence." Daniel stared at her with gratitude deeper than words. "Would you help me learn her language? Help me understand my daughter?" Lily smiled warmly. "Of course. That's why I came over." They spent hours talking, or more accurately, signing. Lily taught Daniel simple gestures. "I love you, are you okay? I'm proud of you, and you're safe." Every sign Daniel learned felt like unlocking a piece of his daughter's heart. Emily giggled and corrected him when he made mistakes, which only made Daniel laugh through tears. The entire cafe watched, touched, some wiping their eyes. What they witnessed wasn't just communication, it was healing, unfolding right before them. Before leaving, Lily knelt beside Emily. "You're brave," she signed. "And your voice is beautiful, even without sound." Emily leaned forward and hugged her tightly. Daniel watched, unable to believe the miracle happening in front of him. As they stood to leave, Emily tugged on Daniel's sleeve. He knelt to her level, and she signed slowly, hesitantly. Daniel looked at Lily for translation, and Lily gasped softly before smiling with emotion. She said, "Daddy, I want her to stay with us." Daniel felt the world pause. He looked at Lily. Something inside him knew, this young woman wasn't just a stranger. She was the missing bridge between him and his daughter, the one person who could truly understand Emily's world. "Lily," he said gently, "would you like to work with us? Not as a therapist, but as someone who can help us grow as a family." Lily's eyes welled with tears. "I would be honored." As they all walked toward the exit together, Daniel held Emily's hand tighter than ever, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. For the first time in years, he felt hope. Real, living, breathing hope. And Emily? She walked with a lightness Daniel had never seen. Her steps felt free, her eyes bright, her world finally understood. And all because one young woman chose to listen, not with her ears, but with her heart. The rain outside had stopped, and through the glass door, a faint rainbow shimmered across the sky, as if the universe itself had blessed their new beginning. And from that day forward, Emily wasn't a mute child anymore, she was simply a girl who found someone who spoke her language. And if you love emotional, heart-touching stories like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel, because more incredible stories are waiting to inspire you, heal you, and remind you that humanity still exists.